I am talking or I am making a dialogue with an expert in SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, and not only expert in SDG, but a very hard worker. And through Dilasa, you have done very much big work in Maharashtra. And now I think you are also working in other states also. Uh, Now I ask you, what is the exact situation in villages? When we consider, when we talk about the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, as directed by the United Nations, and our Prime Minister signed, yes, we will follow all rules and regulation, all terms in India, because we do not want poverty. We do not want any type of problem about the human development and all overall structural development. So that when we think about the sustainable, that is a continuous development. That development is related to our breathe, to bridge. So how many bridge are required? That is another question. But breathe is important. If human beings are not healthy of that country, means that country is very sick. So economically, is it powerful or not? That is not important. But is that country is happy? This is important. And this principle of sustainable development are dependent. So now you tell us about the situation in villages, how the mindset of the people, how is the mindset of the political leaders, local leaders, that sarpanch or gram panchayat sadasya or JDP members, or in urban area that corporators or MP or MLAs, MLCs, there are so many leaders, because this is a country of leaders, India. So, and our India means our village, and village means India. So our central government or state government declared that the smart cities project. In that overall scenario, how the smart village programs are going on actually? You tell us very frankly, because all people are eager to listen from you only, because you have done very smart work really about the sustainable development. Please tell us.
Thank you so much. And first of all, I'm not expert in SDG. SDG is a recent concept, but we must try to understand as a leadership perspective or from the common man perspective. That when these SDGs are designed, besides this SDG, there were first of all Millennium Development Goals. Then in September 2015, 193 countries sit, and you know all the story that 17 goals are there. And
They
for
decided
our
2013.
2015 September, it's very recent.
And
And
duration?
duration 2030 is
2030.
the last ultimatum for them. And if we see at our level for country like India, right now there is a annual ranking of the SDGs, that now which country is at what level and which goal has been achieving or not 100% achieving, how much percentage. So we should know also where we are standing. So out of 156 countries ranking at global level, they are doing with all methodology, with all the geographical location of that country, considering all that, we are at rank of 112. So we must introspect ourselves that where we are right now, and there's a long way to go, right from 112, and Sweden and Denmark countries are ranking first and second, such as small countries. So first of all, we need to understand, do we have a baseline? Where we are right now, we don't have baseline. So for say There are some 5 6 sustainable development goals in which our country has done some of the case studies, but those case study doesn't mean that it has a baseline. So first of all, we should work very concentratedly with efforts and with very focus that first of all, if we take say not only all 17, say only 5 6 goals,
5, 6.
and do a complete unbiased study
Who is
of the
that 5, 6
baseline.
goal?
Any 5 6 goal,
Any,
any
acha,
country
any.
can pick up. There is so much of
Ah.
liberty. There is no necessity that we should hurriedly go for 17 goals at a time. So we can pick up 5 6 goals. That should be the strategy, and then go with the detailed unbiased study, and then take a action step by step. So there is a micro planning is necessary, and there are some 136 indicators for national level. Then go one by one with that indicator. That should be at the national level.
There are above 300
306 indicators for all the goals in at the national level, but we can micro plan it, and we can go in detail, in depth, by increasing those indicators at local level. So first of all, from global level to national level, that understanding is important. After that global level, when it comes to some state level, or say at, as you mentioned about the village level or local panchayat level, then we should first of all understand and have a complete knowledge of the local problem and go with the local solution. Nothing should be done from the foreigners, or the foreigners should not tell us that this should be the solution. We are there, we are the people who are going to live there. And as you mentioned,
We
that,
are patient,
yes,
and we are also
doctors. Yes, so our knowledge and our perception is the best. So by discussing with the local people, just I can quote you the example of the drinking water supply. So any sarpanch is just as a matter of pride, they want a elevated storage reservoir, a big tank in
And
front of their
his
village.
name should be displayed on that
So during
tank.
my tenure, this tank has happened. Then second sarpanch again come into picture after 5 years. Then he stood up with the second tank. Then third sarpanch. So all the tanks remain empty,
And water,
because
there is
because
no
of
water.
no water available. So it's a very funny thing for the
Funny.
common people or common
This
man.
is actually very
looking at
good
the-
example of
yes,
our nature of democracy.
So he is looking all the three tanks and no water at all. So just like a small NGO like Dilasa entered into that village, and when we start interacting with the people who are really need based of the drinking water, after so much years of independence, we are not able to give a minimum drinking water to that village. So they start telling us we don't need all these tanks, we need only a draw well where we can fetch water. Also don't put any pump over that well, because of load shedding of 18 hours. We are not able to store anymore. So just a draw well we can fetch water from it, and it will be a great satisfaction and fulfillment of our requirement. So this is a very simple intervention that is needed to that village, but instead of that we are going for a storage reservoir. So something is influential to our mindset because of lot of English people, they remained here more than 150 years. So that influence is still in our minds, that there are elevated storage reservoirs because of their topography. It may not be replicable here in our topography. It is not suitable because of our electrical problems, our storage problems. So we have to
It's
go with
very
the
fine, because you are watershed expert. You are actually expert. You said that I am not expert in SDG. Okay, but we feel that you are expert because you have done so much work. Then it's habit of general politicians in village or in country also, that water is under land, but they try to find in sky.
the sky, right?
there are in sky is also water, but I am saying that in very comic sense, because they build their reservoirs and etc. And why they are interested to build, because for their names. And just when I started this discussion, I asked you about the overall mindset, about, because economy is there. And when we talk about the SDG and indicators, I think there is a one indicator, that is a corruption eradication. So in machinery, government machinery, we blame these young people who are 20s or 25. They are thinking about, they are very shame, or they hate politicians or our system, because there is a corruption in their village. They see there is a very fighting all each other, and they blame each other. But exactly for drinking water is not available. So now you have worked about that pulley also, small experiments. You tell about that. Beforehand, tell also about the youngster. You give the message to the youngster of that village.
See, the youngster are confused mind. Of course, confused mind is very good for the learning, but always our mindset is have a copying something. So first of all, we must have a clarity of the things. What is our problem? What is the solution that we can give and handle it? If I can give you a solution of water purifier, or having so much of high-tech sensors sitting in that area, through the remote I can purify your water, but it's so costly and it is not maintaining by anybody in our country. So the solution should be adaptable. Adaptable, that means they are engaged with that solution very comfortably, and they should be able to maintain it. So youths are trying to copying something from the outside, and that is a very dangerous, because
They
it
do
is
compare.
not our.
They do compare developed countries and our country.
Right. So see, our country, our people have our body language, our own problems, our own topographical situations. So what Dilasa is trying to do in these villages, to give the situation specific solution. Whatever solution I am giving in Aurangabad district, same solution I am not giving in Chandrapur district, because soil is different, agriculture, water requirements, people habits are also different. So it is not always copy paste. So first thing is that you must see the things clearly. What is the situation and what is the solution we can give as a system option. So in one of our villages, when we are going to do the water supply things. See, government on large scale doing rural water supply schemes for our 22,000 gram panchayat, but still we are not getting water at village level. So we do the type of Gram Sabha with the community meeting as a system option. See, from my perspective, from engineering perspective, from social perspective, these are the 3 water supply options for your village. The people are able to choose it, because they are going to use water in that village.
That is very necessary. Actually, awareness about that functioning of the development process.
So one scheme was that is a routine water supply scheme, dug well, storage and distribution system. Second was similar to that. Third is repairing of the existing pulleys in that area. So it was just only 80 to 90,000. Other schemes are 12 to 13 lakhs. So people has adopted this only repair of pulley, and 8,000, more than 8,000 population is still working very nicely from last 5 to 6 years with the simple mechanism of pulley repair and just making OTA around that well. So people are very much aware what type of solution they want, because they have to fetch daily water from that. I am not going to that village daily for my drinking water purpose. So first of all, ask them what are their requirements, what are their affordability. And then women are so much happily coming and telling me that we are getting so much of trouble in fetching the water. The kids are failing inside. There are accidents happen, but now we are very comfortable and we are doing very nice. So these are the feedbacks and remarks from them. If we give a right sustainable
Women
solution,
reacts very well
yes,
for
yes,
that.
for that whatever utensils they has to fetch is on their head. So there are so many
There is
headaches and
spondylitis
problems,
also,
spondylitis, and it has totally disappeared
disappeared.
because of simple device of the drawell and pulleys with it. So these types of interactions with the local people are necessary. Especially youths are fascinated today with the technologies, with the smartphone. See, these are the tools for
Tools.
our comfort and for our survival. But there are the necessary requirements which will remain forever, just like water, agriculture, soil. So youth should keep attention on these things also. See, our whole economy is agriculture based. Though there is a service sector, but it is in a very minimal way. So young people are definitely go for the technologies and new innovations in it, but they should understand whenever we remain hungry or when we are getting hungry or thirsty, we require food and water. So we are not capable to do the things with mobile. So it's only a gadget. So basic requirements, once we understand that this water and food will not remain forever, it is in a very limited space and with the very limited amount, we must consume it very precautiously, and also we should do something for its conservation. Just like we mentioned earlier regarding aquifer project, what we are telling about the hydrogeology of the complete Maharashtra, no. What we are telling the youth and villagers, there is a small utensil below the ground which was filled earlier. That utensil was filled with the water, so that we are drawing that water. Now it's our responsibility to fill that utensil. It is not going to just replenish by the nature. We have to do something because we are drawing water from that particular vessel. Then they understood that naturally water conservation in Maharashtra, where we are situated on hard basalt, hard rock, we have to do something to recharge our area. There will not be recharging happen automatically. We have to do something when we want to withdraw water from the ground. So that understanding among youths are necessary, and youth
And
should
it is
be
actually whatever youth are very smart and very actually they want real development.
correct.
They do not want to go abroad for
Right,
only as a craze.
No.
But if they get a fine atmosphere around them, they will stay here. But talent transformation is a very dangerous for India. Actually, from the village or farmhouse, they when they get the degree, they do not touch the soil. But when we think or when we discuss about the soil conservation or watershed development and etc., there should be purity.
Correct.
Our conclusion is that like ki whole system is responsible. Each element is responsible. That sarpanch to central minister or sarpanch to prime minister, everybody is responsible. You told us about that small things can be beneficial in villages, not necessarily the only exhibition of our leadership. It is a very fight. Thank you very much.